Hey, welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I'm your host, Calvin Tobin. Today I am interviewing Malcolm St. Louis, and he is a power forward for the Tampa Bay Titans. It's a pro league that could potentially get players into the NBA. So Malcolm, how are you doing today, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing great. So tell me about your whole clothing line.
Okay, yeah, Meticulous Threads. It started when I was in college, back at King University. Interesting point about the brand, I lost my scholarship in between my junior and senior year. I had to redshirt a year, so I had to think of a way to supplement my income. And the clothing line was always an idea I had in my head, so I went over to one of my buddies, Ashton Hippenstall, and we went and talked it out, made a logo, and then just started pushing. 5 years later, and still going.
Being an entrepreneur, what are the upsides and downsides of that?
So, I mean, the upsides and downsides of being an entrepreneur is just like, there's no real guide. There's no like cookie cutter way to make it work. You know what I'm saying? You kind of just gotta figure it out for yourself. I don't know how well in depth you and your viewers are in like the cash flow quadrant. You know what I'm saying? Understanding how money and the income of money works, but like, you know, when you're an entrepreneur, you're technically self-employed. So like, there's only two ways that you can make income, and that's actively and passively. You know
Gotcha.
what I'm saying? So passively are like investments, but you know, you gotta have money to make investments.
Gotcha.
Or, you know, big business systems. That's like, you know, if you buy a McDonald's or you buy a Chick-fil-A, you know what I'm saying? You know that those are gonna drive your income regardless.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? But like, if you're self-employed or you're employed, you're exchanging time for money.
Gotcha. So in a way, it could be, entrepreneur is like the stock market. It can either go up or down.
Exactly. You never know. You never know where you're going to be at.
Gotcha. How about being an entrepreneur? Like, what do you think are the key factors as being able to run a business?
I mean, it's just like with anything else you do. It's just about putting in the work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's kind of where I was about to get to. Like, you know, as an entrepreneur, you're self-employed. You work for yourself. If you don't show up for work, you're not going to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So like, at your job, if you don't show up for work, there's like 50 other people there. The company's still gonna get paid because other people are gonna put in the work.
Gotcha.
But if you're working for yourself and you don't show up, you don't put in the work, then you're not gonna get paid because it's just you.
All right. So it's like very, very solo.
Yeah, it's you and your team. And if you're a one-man crew, then it's just you.
Yeah, I gotcha. And speaking of team, like you played for the Tampa Bay Titans. How did your season go last year?
This past year, it was an interesting year. I guess by winning percentage, I believe it was our best season. We were 10-12. There was a point where we could have made the playoffs.
How many games were you out for going to the playoffs?
Maybe 4.
4 games?
Maybe 4 games away. Yeah.
Gotcha. And with playing with the Titans, what were like some of the highlights or like some of the best parts about playing with that team?
One of the best things about playing with that team is like, we had a lot of talented players. Like, I know our record didn't reflect it, but like, I got to be around a lot of top-notch players. Like, one of my teammates, Trey Boyd, he's going to Finland. Another one of my teammates, Terry Wynn, he's on his way to Luxembourg. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
So it was cool for me to see this year. Like, the opportunity is there for sure. Like, This is my 3rd year with the team, and I believe this is probably like the best class, the best collective group of guys. You know.
Do you got any chances of going anywhere else other than playing for the Titans?
Who knows? As of right now, I don't really have anything brewing. It's been my 3rd year. I remember after my 1st year, I had I had an opportunity to go to the Dominican Republic. I went to Mexico a couple times to try out for a few different teams. But nothing really solid, nothing really concrete. This year was kind of tough for me mentally. So I had, decided at the end of the season I was going to, take a step back, take a mental health break. I'm still young. I'm 27.
Oh yeah, very young.
So I still got time. I got to fix the things that are messed up internally and all.
You got to make sure that you got a complete straight line in your life.
You feel me? Yeah.
Yeah. Since you're taking that mental health break, whenever you come back, if there's a chance you're going to play for the Titans, or if you're going to go to another team, let's say you go to a new team for theoretical terms, what makes you different on how you can help that team win?
So for me, bro, I'm a real team player. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not really, I get it. The TBL is an exposure league, but like, I'm not really in the stat chasing.
Gotcha.
I'm really big into playing my role and doing what I got to do to help the team win.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Just straight up focused on that win.
Yeah, exactly. I know there's not a whole lot of guys out there like that. I mean, I feel like me personally, I'm a utility player. I bring a lot of defense. I bring a lot of leadership.
Yeah.
A lot of interior scoring. You know what I'm saying? I'm really good in the mid post. So, I feel like my game is very useful to a lot of teams. It's just about getting my name out there and
Yep. Getting your name out is always the most important thing.
for sure.
Yep. What was the biggest challenge for you last season playing on the Titans?
The biggest challenge, honestly, was kind of adjusting to my role. Even though I am all about the team, I'm all about winning. At the end of the day, I'm still a competitor, and I still want to be on the court at the end of the games. You know what I'm saying? I felt like my presence probably would have helped us close out some of those closer games because we lost. Out of our 12 games we lost I think 9 or 10 of them by less than, in the last few minutes of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like, just being out there would have made a difference. But, accepting and trusting my coach that he was making the right decision for us to win the game,
Yeah.
that was the biggest.
Yeah. Out of all the games that you played last year, what was possibly like one of your favorite games, or even like one game that you could have had back to redo?
The first game against the Gulf Coast Lions was probably one of those games like I would love to relive just because the Gulf Coast Lions, they're based out of Sarasota, so that's pretty close to Tampa, so a lot of the guys on that team. The general manager was, he coached me my first year at the Titans. Their head coach was my coach for the second year of the Titans. And one of their players was my roommate at the time. You know what I'm saying? So like there was a lot of like, I want to beat these guys. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And we did that. We came out, we smacked them. I think at that point in the season I hadn't played that much, but that was the first game. Like I came out at like 17-10. You know what I'm saying? It was like a coming out. And then from there I started seeing more playing time. It was just, that was a good moment. I guess a game that I would like back, there was a game against I would say the first game of the season against the Atlanta Empire. I came out, I was really passive. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't really looking to score. I wasn't looking for my own shot. I was just looking to not mess up. And, as a player, you know that's not what you should do when you're out there. You don't play to not mess up. You know what I'm saying? Because when you play to not mess up, what do? You probably make more mistakes because you're thinking about messing up. So.
Since the Titans did make the playoffs, what do you think was the biggest factor on possibly holding them back from possibly winning a couple of those games to jolt them into the playoffs?
I think it was probably just trust. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like from top to bottom, everybody didn't trust everybody. You know what I'm saying? So like towards the end of games, it'd be a lot of like, maybe a lot of hero ball, maybe a lot of, it's my turn, or I want the last shot, or, what I'm saying, things like that. Or maybe even complacency, you know what I'm saying? Because, to be winning through the first 3 quarters, it's a long game, 48 minutes. Like,
Yeah.
48, like that last 8 minutes, because, in college you only play 40 minutes, but that last 8 minutes, that's a long 8 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's a lot harder than finishing the game and starting it.
For sure. I think those 2 factors kind of played into us losing a lot of those tight games. Everybody not trusting each other and a little bit of complacency when we're winning by large margins.
Trust is always the biggest factor, no matter what you got to do on team perspectives.
Yeah.
Is there a chance that you want to stay with the Titans or potentially go to a new team?
I keep my options open. It was kind of a weird feeling between, me and management towards the end of the year. So, if they would like to have me back, I'd be open to it. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, I feel like, it might be time for new faces down there in Tampa Bay. You know, it might be good for new scenery for myself. You know what I'm saying? But if we could come to terms, you know, if there's still a team, you know what I'm saying, then you know I would be more than happy to, you know.
Your league is a traveling league, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Was there? Do you have a favorite city that you would like to go to if you were able to play there?
I would really like to go play for either the Owensboro Thoroughbreds or the Raleigh Firebirds. So Owensboro, Kentucky is really close to, you know, where I'm from. I'm from Nashville, Tennessee.
I got you.
And Raleigh, I've been to Raleigh several times in my life, and I love Raleigh out there. You know what I'm saying? So those are two markets that I would love to play for. Yeah.
All right, that's the end of the interview. Please subscribe to my channel at The Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any cool new interviews with any players. And please follow me on my Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news. And we're out.